Flight 305, a Boeing 727, was a routine flight traveling from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, Washington. The passengers on board were mostly unaware that they were about to become part of history. Among them was a man who appeared to be just another businessman, calmly sitting in his seat, reading a newspaper. Dressed in a dark suit, Cooper looked completely unremarkable, blending in with the other passengers. But his plan was anything but ordinary. Around 3 p.m. local time, Cooper handed a flight attendant a note. At first, she assumed it was another one of the countless notes passengers give flight attendants on long flights. But when she read it, her demeanor changed immediately. The note read, "I have a bomb. I want $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a plane to take me to Mexico." The note was chilling, and Cooper made sure that the flight attendant understood he was serious. He even showed her the bomb in his briefcase. The flight attendant, visibly shaken, immediately informed the cockpit crew, and the plane was diverted to Seattle. The airline and the FBI quickly coordinated a response, agreeing to meet Cooper's demands. While the plane landed in Seattle, passengers were allowed to disembark, and Cooper kept only the crew members on board. It was at this point that Cooper made one thing clear: he wasn't going to be caught. He had planned this meticulously, and he intended to get away. Once the ransom money, $200,000 in cash, and the parachutes were delivered, Cooper instructed the remaining crew to fly him to Mexico. He gave very specific instructions about the flight route and altitude. The plane was to fly at a low altitude, somewhere between 10,000 and 15,000 feet, to minimize the risk of detection. Cooper was also careful about where he would make his escape. His instructions were clear: no one was to enter the cabin. For the rest of the flight, Cooper remained calm and in control. According to the flight crew, he was polite and businesslike, even ordering a drink. Then, at approximately 8 p.m., Cooper made his move. With the plane still flying at low altitude, he opened the rear stairway door of the Boeing 727, which was equipped with an unusual feature that allowed for such a daring escape. He strapped the ransom money into a bag, put on one of the parachutes, and jumped into the dark night, disappearing into the wilderness of the Pacific Northwest. The plane landed in Reno, Nevada, about 45 minutes later, but there was no sign of Cooper. No parachute. No body. No evidence. It was as if he had disappeared into thin air. The FBI immediately launched an investigation, starting with the area where Cooper was believed to have parachuted. The rugged terrain of the Pacific Northwest presented challenges, but the search effort was exhaustive. Helicopters, search teams, and FBI agents scoured the dense forests and rivers in an attempt to locate Cooper or any trace of him. But despite weeks of searching, nothing was found. There was no sign of Cooper, no footprints, no parachute, and no evidence that he had survived the jump. However, the investigation wasn't over. As time passed, various leads emerged. The FBI began working on a list of potential suspects. They interviewed witnesses, analyzed the ransom money, and explored every possibility. But the case remained open, and the mystery deepened. In 1972, the FBI released a detailed description of Cooper, and the hunt for the mysterious hijacker intensified. Dozens of people came forward, offering theories about Cooper's identity. Some believed he had been a former military paratrooper. Others thought he might have been a skilled skydiver, someone who knew exactly how to execute the jump and disappear. Some even speculated that he had inside knowledge about the plane's systems and the parachutes, which made him even more dangerous. In 1980, a breakthrough of sorts occurred when a portion of the ransom money was found buried along the Columbia River. The discovery renewed interest in the case, but it also raised more questions than answers. How had the money ended up there? Had Cooper hidden it during his escape? Or was it dropped by mistake? The investigation officially remained open for decades, but in 2016, the FBI announced it was closing the case. Despite nearly half a century of investigation, the true identity of D.B. Cooper remains a mystery lost to the shadows of history. The FBI gave up on Cooper, but you don't have to give up on great content. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more unsolved cases and true crime stories.